When I saw the first mouse, I joked that it was like dating that screenwriter in LA, because you're cute and all, but why are you living in my apartment? I became an expert in catch and release. In the blue dome of the trap, I carried the mice away from my building's poison walls and the glue traps in other flats, awaiting their scream and struggle and slow, dried-out death. I brought them to the shady copse behind the way station of the Redemptorist Fathers, that the prayers of the saints might cover them, and they no longer nibble through my tortilla bag. That was our rhythm, until a mouse wandered out in full daylight, while I stood at the kitchen counter, juicing whatever fruits I could find to juice. Still too fast to catch, this mouse was slow for a mouse. Old or sick or poisoned. My eyes could follow it from the fridge to the closet, to the fridge again, then under the stove. I sighed and made a mental note to set a trap, but then I glanced up to see the mouse peering at me over the top of the range. The mouse stayed. It looked and looked at me, and I looked back. I felt for my rubber glove, slid it on, and set my hand before the mouse. It climbed over my fingers to rest on my palm. Not enough is said about the strength of that gaze, how it can bear us into the hands of another. The mouse was light, so light I could barely feel the weight of it through my glove as I set it carefully in a cardboard box. This is the story, that inside the box I set a smaller box so the mouse could hide, that I gave it breadcrumbs and cashews and a cap full of water, that though I could not save it, I gave it a good death in a small, safe place. By story here, I mean untruth. I took the mouse outside because I always take the mice outside, and they leap from the live traps and sprint into the ivy under the trees. There are worse things than meaning well, but few more hollow. I was halfway home before it struck me that this mouse had scrabbled to stay in the box, that it had come to me seeking shelter, perhaps, and I dropped it gently into terror, that it would die in terror, addled and panting in the alien green, shrinking from the too big, too bright sky. This is the real story then, if there is such a thing, that once I had the trust of a tiny, feral thing. I think I broke it. Forgive me, mouse. You found me late. I assumed love meant I had to let you go.